I'm over here on the YouTube. I'm using my cell phone. I'm wanting to look at this cloud structure again. I am. Because I'm really curious. It literally did catch my attention as I was driving. And I'm just wondering how. How is it possible for a structure like this, a cloud in the sky? I'm trying to see the edges of it, I want to see what the edges of it looks like. A cloud in the sky, which is, I don't know, thousands of miles above us, where the clouds like float in the sky also. How could it cast its shadow on the backdrop of the sky? Really, I think it's a really interesting question that should be asked. Now, if this cloud could cast its shadow, which it has right here, it would mean that there's something in the background. There's like a something like a wall or something put up. It reminds me, it really does remind me of a green screen where you can, project an image on it. Like I can, I can dance. I love dancing with them, like say the plasma or something in the background. And I know that when I do my dancing videos, if I have a light super bright on me while I'm doing it with the green screen in the background, I am going to get a shadow that's going to be projected on the green screen. I am. So I try very carefully not to do such a thing, you all. And again, I'm just sitting here in my living room. I finally got done for the day, but let's look at this, you all, a little bit more. This like a photo, and I just thinking, wow, you've got to be kidding. How on earth is that possible? Really, how is it possible that that shadow could be right there and cast its shadow, that cloud? And then I thought, what if there was a ship there and its shadow also was being projected on this sky right here? And I think Trey 57 was showing an image a few days ago of like, it was like, whatever those lines are. I forget how those lines go. They looked that way, coming from the sun up in the sky, perfect straight lines, as if there was a ship down there, a massive ship. And see, now we've got a cloud. That looks really strange too. Right there, that edge. That looks, well, it's the edge of the cloud. A cloud projecting its shadow to you all. How is that possible? Now, I guess that if it was like, if there was like a wall back there and it was stopping it, then I could understand that. Then it means that the shadow could go no further. So it had to show up. The shadow had to show up because if there wasn't something blocking it, there would be no shadow. But there's something on the other end, and it kind of reminds me of something like this. What it does, like I got this like pepper stuck here. I could probably, if I wanted to, I can cast a part of its shadow. I can onto my table, but how would I be able to cast that shadow like they did the cloud? I don't understand. I can't understand how to do that. I can't. Now, like this candle, sure, we can cast the shadow with the candle. Absolutely, we can. We can cast that shadow with the light shining on it, and I did. I took my flashlight and I shined it on this candlestick. But as for the cloud, I wasn't up there in the sky, you all, showing, shining a flashlight or anything on that cloud. I wasn't, but it was up there. And why just that cloud? Why didn't these other clouds have a shadow cast up against the sky? See, because you couldn't tell, you wouldn't know that there was like something in the background. You wouldn't. But for that, yeah. And it even happened over there on that side. Let's see what's being said. I can't see. Let me see the comments. Yeah, because I really, I have thoughts on it. I do, especially seeing it like this. I have lots of thoughts on it, especially since I use a green screen. I have lots of thoughts on it. But that's okay, you all. It really is. It's in the big scope of our life, we've all seen shadows coming from the sun. We have when the sun is setting, big old rays, just beams, like slender pie shapes, like section of a pie being taken out when the sun is setting at times, because something, the structure that's in front of the sun, it's causing it. But I really wonder, how can these clouds be in the background with this shadow in between? Like, how can that happen? How can you have a shadow in between the white clouds, and it's also showing up on the blue? How can that happen? And then are the clouds solid? Are they a solid structure? And if the clouds are truly a solid structure, what does that mean, you all? What does that mean if this cloud is completely solid? And what does it mean if this right here is completely solid, and then this blue is completely solid and it's like right there? What if all of this is just literally right there, and there's not even 50 feet, not even 50 feet, or maybe, depending on how big this sky, this cloud is, if this cloud was like a 2-story building, and the edge of the sky, I could see it if the edge of the sky was like just right there. Yeah, I could see why that would happen. I really could. But the sky is supposed to be so far away, you all. And we wouldn't be able to see the end of it, you all. We wouldn't, according to theory, really, according to theory, it's so far away. Look how massive this is. Look how these are like both on the same size too. Then another part of me thought, you know, what if we entered a parallel world, and this is the opposite side of the cloud, the opposite? What if we lived in a world of opposite? What if we were up there in the sky and our shadows were showing on the backdrop of it? If we were a big giant, or what if our shadows were just showing also up there, you all? What if they were? There's so many things that are happening. Look at this, like a perfect circle right there. The like a dome shape right there, except it's got a little bitty cloud, you know, a cloud things on it right there. That one up there at the top, that white one in the center. I think there's ships up there, like maybe life. Whoa. Oh, I didn't see these. I didn't see the dark clouds on top of the white clouds, which produce a dark shadow. What if you are now, what if in between here is dark, smoky gray clouds that literally replicated, they replicated, you all, like plasma, and took on the shape of that cloud. Now that could be possible. That would be another theory, you all, if the clouds literally did replicate. Because now let's think about this. Look how they look like they're like soft brush, like it's airbrushed up there. It really does. What if something replicated the shape of this cloud? Some type of, I don't even like to think that, you are some type of entity. Now, you remember a long time ago, and I'm being very serious, a long time ago, probably several months back, we read about Star Trek, and, you know, they talked about if they're talking about the cloud, like the black cloud, and then I forget what it was. Was it the National Institute of Health or something like that? They had quoted Star Trek about, you know, what is a life form, and they acknowledged that if a black cloud showed up, they said something about it, and I can't remember what they said. If a black cloud showed up, what if this is something like that, you all? What if this truly, Lord help us, if this truly is not a shadow that is being projected on the sky, if the sky truly is not, the backdrop of the sky is not right there, then what is that? What is that, you all? If that is not a shadow, if it truly is something like a black cloud that literally has mimicked, replicated to the best of its ability, the shape of this cloud. Now, how's that for a theory? It has truly, what if it's truly replicated it? And what if, yeah, what if it's not a shadow? What if it isn't? Because this just entered my mind. What if it isn't? You know, we got the black filament beings and stuff on the sun, and look like a perfect like circle right like there. And there are black ships. There are. I've seen them in the clouds. But this is so super. This is like a charcoal black. Is it, now let's think about this. Is that too dark to be a shadow in the sky? Is it? Is it too dark to be a shadow? Is it a life form, you all? Is it a life form? I just wonder. I really do wonder. Yeah. Because this stuff doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Now it's like, this is straight right here. This is, and this is a hump, but do shadows, let's ask this, do shadows fade away at the edges? Or are shadows not crisp? Look, it looks like it's, Gina, honey, what are you doing? Let me slow it. Oh, I got it slowed down, you. I got it slowed down to the slowest point. What? I think shadows would be very crisp outlines. I really do. Super crisp outlines. Not, it's crisp right there, but not right here. It isn't, you all. And then right here, see, it's good to study stuff like that. It really is. And look how wispy. It's too wispy. Wispy to be a normal cloud shadow, isn't it? Would you think that it's too wispy to be a normal cloud shadow? That's, I know it's a lot to talk about, a lot to think about. Yeah. let me see, Mandy, somebody. Let me look back in here. Am I missing something? Yeah, let me put this, let me flip my light on you all. So, Gina, did you take these pictures? You all, I don't like the way the light's on me. Yeah, I took these pictures yesterday on my way to Salem, Indiana with my iPhone right here. This came from my photos, and you know, I can't right here, but if I had my big computer one, I could show you where they were taken, exactly what time stamp it was taken. Yeah, so yeah, I did. I took it with my phone. If I take a picture, if you do not hear me give someone else credit for it or tell you where it came from, you can rest assured it is something that I have physically taken myself, because it's wrong to take credit for someone else's work. It's wrong. So yeah. Okay, Dorothy or Danny, it's the dark matter programming the sky. So yes, so let's look at this you all. Oopsie. Because it does not have, yeah, thank you, Heather. It doesn't have the crisp edges of a normal shadow at all. And it's too, no, you all. When I first saw it, I really thought, look at that shadow in the sky. But it was so rather alarming now that I've finally had time to sit down and look at it. It's way too dark, extremely way too dark to be a shadow. Way too dark, you all. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up from this recliner right here. I'm going to walk upstairs to the loft area. Okay, I am. And I'm going to set at my computer desk to where I can turn my light on you all. So yeah, y'all going to see this moving, but I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to push this chair in. I got the whole entire house in the dark. I don't want to trip you all, so let me look. I gotta have this. I want to have this as a light. I got this thing turning around. You're gonna see this wiggling and stuff. I gotta make my way upstairs. I do. So you just bear with me. I'm gonna put you right here. I just gotta find my way. I gotta find the door because it's very dark in the house. You all, you just right there. I know you can see. We're almost up here, you all. I am almost up here. Let me do this, you all. I'm almost up these steps. You don't want me to fall up these steps and mess myself up even more with my knees. You do not want that at all. You don't want it. Okay, you all, we made it up here. You just wait right there for 1 second. Okay, now we can do it. That's better, you all. That's so much better. So yeah, now I'm up here at my big computer. Right there, you all. So could this be dark matter? Could this be a life form right there? That's the question. Let's see. You heard in the 50s that they saw a giant water gator 50 feet long. Yeah, I need to put my different glasses on. Let me do this, you. I got to get my glasses on, and I'm trying to open this case with one hand because one glasses are better than the other. Okay, we got it. We have got it like this. Okay, I can see your comments better. Excuse me right now. You know what? Let me do this. I wish I knew the agency that, remember the agency that spoke of the black cloud? I wish I knew which one it was, and I think we found it on Wiki fandom. I think we did. And it's probably not nice of me doing a video like this, but I like to do my phone at times. I really love it. Can you hear me? Wiki fandom and Black Cloud. Oh. Yeah, we got it. I think we got it. No, we probably don't got it, you all. Something about black clouds and turrets. I don't know what a turret is, you all. No, this ain't it. This ain't about it, you all. Let me see this right here. I want a black cloud life form, you all. That's what I want to know. A black cloud, a life form. That's what I want to know. Where was it at? I wanted to be able to quote what they said about it, you all. I really did. But we can't. Now, of course, you know, look at this. Look at this, you all. Fred Hoyle. I wrote about the black cloud. I really did. I did a video on it. The Black Cloud is a 1957 science fiction novel by British astrophysicist Fred Hoyle. Fred Hoyle, you all. We're going to go somewhere. It details the arrival of an enormous cloud of gas that enters the solar system and appears to about to destroy most of the life on Earth by blocking the sun's radiation, you all. This black cloud. Do you remember the video about that, you all? And it was like one of the talking heads of, you know, I don't know, one of these agencies said they would have to acknowledge that it was a life form. If you were to look on this playlist on my YouTube channel, or if you would do a search, you could find it about the black cloud. What if that's what's here? What if that is, see, it's just not a normal shadow. Well, I'm sorry. I thought it was a normal shadow, but that is not normal. A normal shadow should be completely straight and not wispy like that. CERN is looking for dark matter. I know that, and they say that at wormholes there's like black holes. If a supernova star, a star would go supernova, sometimes they leave behind something kind of like that, you all. Kind of like that. Look at this. Interstellar ice grains and life's precursors. See, there's so many books that they had written about it. Earth is menaced by a power beyond the planets and older than time. Without a question, it's the most intelligently written science fiction. They also called the black cloud a sentient being, is what they called it, a sentient being in one of those agencies, you all. This is true. If you're just tuning in, I was going over this this right here that I took on my way to Salem. Going down the road that I go down. And I was, I just couldn't believe it. I really could not believe that it was happening in the sky like that, but it was. So it just makes me wonder if there is not that black cloud, that dark cloud is not a life form of its own. And it's just replicating. That's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking, you all, now. Because I was thinking that that it was just a plain shadow, is what I thought. Just a plain old shadow. Dark matter. Christine, I think they're talking about, let's see, NIH. No, that's black cloud phenomenon. Black clouds, I don't know. You are, this is, look at this. The black cloud, a plausible gaseous life form. Well, if it was a plausible gaseous life form, that would have to, I wonder if the black cloud would be something like a plasma. It makes black clouds travel through space, making occasional stops in the vicinity of a star in order to use the energy to produce food and chemicals that make up their bodies. And when the cloud reaches the vicinity of the sun, it assumes, oh my gosh, you all, it assumes a disc-like shape that enables it to absorb energy more efficiently. Did you just see that? When it gets to the vicinity of the sun, it assumes a disc-like shape that enables it to absorb energy more efficiently, you all. Do you know why I'm saying that? What have we been looking at? The SDO AIA 171 and what's attached to it, you all. What is attached to it? At first, I thought it was a round object, and then at times it looked like it was discs. It looked like it was discs. Could it be the black cloud attached to the sun? Now, this may sound far-fetched, you all, but could it be the black cloud attached to the sun? I am trying to pull down this thing, and it just don't want to happen with me. I want to show you. See, this is what I was looking at, you all. Right here. Let me pull these up. This was the sun right here. And this is what we've been looking at down here. Right down here, it's at the bottom of the sun. We've been tracking it since the 25th, and it's still attached. It's still attached right down here. Okay, we ain't got to it yet. Look at this. Look at that. And when something comes out, like I've been showing that video over and over every day now, when something comes out of here, you can see this thing bounce. You can see it bounce. I took so many screenshots of it. I really did, with it rotating and stuff like that. But I went right there, you all. When this part right here comes down, this whole area, it bounces, and these stretch out a little. It literally is attached to the sun. And I want you to see the timestamp, the 25th. I've been tracking it. I thought it was something like this, but when I look at it, I thought, what if it's a disc on its side? What if it's one on its side? And watch this right here. It's the 25th. It's in this same spot. And if we were to keep going, see, it looks like kind of like a disc right there. It does, you all. This is the video that I first documented attached to the sun, you all, on the 25th. And we just saw it when a black cloud gets next to the sun. When it gets next to the sun, you all. And here it is on the 26th. Right there also. It's still attached to the sun. It's not letting go. It's been there for 4 days practically. It seems like it's been there for 4 days. Look at it. It's still at the sun. It's the 26th. It's in the exact same spot right there. Let me see this. Yeah, right there. And then, you know, it's in the sky. So let's finish reading that, you all, because that is like it assumes a disc shape that enables it to absorb energy more efficiently from the sun. From the sun. Yeah. This is wow. This is so wild. National. Yeah. It must be tied together, you all. It really must be. I really wanted to, I wanted to find the thing where the agency said they would have to admit that it's a life form, is what I wanted to find. Is it your birthday, Christine Mott, honey? If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. That's right, you all. Happy birthday. Um, I'm getting distracted, you all. I really am. Gina, a few years back of a solid object. It was ran through a forensic. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. It really is. IMBD. That's okay, you all. I'm not going to be able to find it by looking on here, but that's okay, you all. It is. So, that shadow on here that I've shared, it's not a normal shadow. I don't think it's a normal shadow. It's, this is truly one of the first times I've seen something like this in the sky. It really is. Other than, you know, the lines that come up that are projected, looks like the sun simulator or like a massive ship. This is the first time I've ever seen something like that in the sky with wispy edges, which do not represent a shadow that well. It represents a dark cloud, a black cloud. It does. It's too dark. It's way too dark, and it's like a charcoaly gray, dark, black cloud, which should not. It shouldn't be doing that, you all. It should not at all. So, yeah, you can look that up yourself, you all. You really can. You can look it up. Wish I could find my video I did. I really do. On that, I wish somebody could remind me which one it is. But you know, when you're looking for something right then and there, you're not going to be able to find it. You're not. Well, I want to try it, you all. So look at this, you all. I think we got it. I think we got it. Look. So I came to my page. I'm not signed in, but I came to my page, Gina Maria Colvin Hill, and I went over here to the search and I did the black cloud. It's pulled up the videos that I've done. You can see I've done the video on the black cloud. It was 8 months ago when we did that video. So 8 months ago, and I do apologize for doing this like this. And then quantum computing and the black cloud and Q. Various forms of life have been theorized by many. Could there be such a life form called Q and or the black cloud? And then the black glue or the black cloud, like one in the same, you all. So this one right here, I wonder, we were talking about quantum computing with that. And I wonder if, how long was that video? 1 hour? This must have had it. You all, if we can click into that. I don't have any time. Oh shoot, I don't have any descriptions written underneath there. That video might have the one place in it. It does. I think it does. Maybe. It might have in there when they were talking about the life form. Okay, yeah, look at this. Here. This is from the NIH. Okay, this is from the NIH. This is the video I did, you all. You might want to go there and watch that video right here. It's called The Black Goo or the Black Cloud because we're over here at the, let's see the top of this thing up here. It's the NIH.gov is where we're at. We're in their paper. And I think I did drop the links in there. They were talking about with respect to Q or the black cloud, no one is proposing an early warning system to detect to detect, you all, such entities, as disruptive as they would be if they were to appear. We do not devote our resources to protect ourselves from transdimensional beings or black clouds because we constructively do not believe that they can exist. Likewise, a group of beings who have achieved perfect immortality may no longer need to reproduce and may therefore lose their ability to reproduce. These, according to our definition theory, they have lost their status as living systems, and we do not now change our definition of life to include such beings because we do not constructively believe that perfect immortality is possible. You all, this is a really good video. It really was a good video that we did right there because it got right into it. And it's from the ncbi.nlm.nih.gov is where it's from, you all. I think we went down and we read a little bit more is what I think we did. Yeah, you can see that I went over here and I dropped the link in the live stream right there to that article. I dropped it in the live stream, you all. You go watch that video because that is what is written in there, how the agency feels about that. That is eye-opening big time. And if there is, they just said that they did not want to change their definition. And they said that they would be very disruptive and there will be no early warning system should a black cloud entity arrive and or a Q, like, you know, that thing on Star Trek. No warning whatsoever for either of them because they just wouldn't do it. They wouldn't. Then, listen, here's what they ended up doing, you all. Listen to this. After they spoke about the black cloud, what do I got going on in this video right here? After they spoke about the black cloud, I'm talking about this shadow. We're on the shadow cloud right here. After they talked about it and on this thing, look what they wrote about it. After they said that they would not give an early warning system, this was on the they're talking about maybe there might be fictional forms of life that appear to defy NASA's definition. Fred Hoyle's published story of the black cloud, a fictional entity that floats into our solar system and blocks our sunlight, placing Earth in distress. After a black cloud realizes the Earth holds self-aware forms of life, it politely moves out of the way and apologizes. Why are they quoting Star Trek? You have to ask yourself, why would the National Institute of Health.gov quote Star Trek in their papers, in like their white papers, in their documentations? Why would they quote the different types of life forms that are encountered in Star Trek? This is the real clincher when they're talking about these life forms that they said they were not give any early warning, is what they said. If we were to encounter Q, the Calamarian, or any of these other conjectural entities during a real look, they decided they wanted to use the word if. They're leaving open the possibility that yes, it is possible. If you say the word if, you are literally leaving open the possibility that there is a possibility that you will encounter a Q or any of the other conjectural entities during a real, not conceptual, trek through the stars we would be forced to concede that they do represent living systems because they have attributes that we value in living systems. And we would also be forced, they're telling you that they are going to be forced, because they've already left open the possibility with the word if, we will be forced to agree that they do not fall within NASA's definition of life. We would therefore be forced to agree that we need a new definition for life if a black cloud were to float into our solar system and begin to apologize to us. We would certainly reject any definition that does not include it as life, especially if we want to encourage particularly polite life forms. You all, that's right there. That is right there. They know that they're going to encounter different life forms, and they're going to be forced to agree that they need a new definition of life, of these forms, you all. But about the ones who are immortal, like say angelic beings or somebody like that, they would no longer be classified as a life form because they would no longer reproduce. Okay, they would be rejected as a type of a life form. If it's a spiritual being, a spiritual entity, they would no longer be called a life form because they can no longer physically or whatever reproduce. Do you see where that's going? No longer a life form, which is really, I don't know. It's so wild, you all. That I would encourage you to watch that video. I really would, because I was mind blown when we stumbled upon it. We got there from a wiki fandom thing is where we got there from. Look, it floats into, and who wants to block the sun? Somebody wants to block the sun, the sunlight. Well, you know, and there is a entity that does not like the sun's radiation, and I think it's called the Vril. They don't like the radiation from the sun, is what I think it is. The Vril or the reptilians or somebody do not. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. We're going to go back. They told you they're going to reject any definition that does not include a black cloud. They will certainly reject any definition that does not include a black cloud as a life form. They don't. Listen to this. We do not now. Look how they italicize the word now. They're telling you, this is from the National Institute of Health. They're telling you that we do not now change our definition of life so as to accommodate Q, the black cloud, or other examples of weird life from Hollywood, because look how they italicized it. We do not constructively believe that this kind of life is possible. Look, they italicized it. They're telling you right now we're not going to change our definition, but if a black cloud shows up, they will be forced to include it as a life form, you all. That's all. That's all of that right there. Every single bit of it. Y'all don't get yourself in trouble in the comment section, because this is serious what's happening, because you know Fred Hoyle was an astrophysicist, and he wrote about the black cloud. He wrote about the black cloud. You come over here and it's called right here, the black goo or the black cloud. This was from April the 19th, just this year. And we're in the month of, see, my videos don't get that very many views for some strange reason. They don't, but that's all right, you all. It's, All in good time. You are all in good time. They'll get viewed by whoever's meant to see them, is what will happen. And our world is changing. It is. And they're talking about a black cloud, and they're going to have to admit when it shows up, more or less, it's going to show up, and they're going to have to admit that it is a life form. And like spiritual beings, immortal beings, they're no longer going to be considered a life form because they can no longer reproduce. And when the black cloud shows up, since they have to redo their definition of life, well, that'll make room for other type of life forms to be classified as a life form. All of it. That's right, you all. So this may not be what some people want to hear, but it's right in your face. What on earth is this? Q clearances and the highest level cosmic clearance. Secret agenda. Oh, I don't know what that was, you all. We started off with Star Trek is what had happened in that video. The Fred Hoyle black cloud is, yeah. Movies tell us what's happening. They do. They tell us lots of things. That's what's happening. And here, look at this, you all. Just one more time. Just one more little thing like this. Because I'm getting tired. It's 10 o'clock at night. So look at this. The black goo right here is a conspiracy theory revolving around a supposed demonic entity that is blamed for many paranormal events, almost always of a malevolent nature. The entity itself is said to be tar-like mass or black goo with a sapience. Its origins are considered to either be satanic, extraterrestrial, or a form of artificial intelligence, depending upon the conspiracy theory at play. The black goo is popularized in the 1990 cultures by the X-Files, and its name was called, oh wow, let's look at this. The X-Files, and the X-Files derives its name from the chemical AO3959X.91/5. You all, I bet if you type that in and you do some digging, you might find something out. You might. It's the substance in the lore of the famous alien science fiction horror film known as the Black Goo. So, I don't know what I've got going over here on my computer. I have no idea. But all I was doing was showing this right here. It doesn't look like a normal shadow. I thought it did at first, but upon closer observation, it doesn't have all the attributes of a real shadow. It looks to be replicating. It looks to be replicating this cloud in some of the photos, like right here. It's too fuzzy on the edges. Right here, way too fuzzy on the edges in order to, and it doesn't look like these. Fuzzy, even though it's got some of the shape, and right there it's too dark to be a shadow. So I think it's an entity. I really do. I think it's some kind of an entity. And or that sky has a big block wall right behind it. And that sky is not as far away, is not as spacious as we think. There's many things. Susan, Honey, and Apple Brooks, you all are so busy. That's okay. That is all right. We got it coming in here tonight, you all. We do. And that's okay. They're bored too, you all. They really are. People come in here, they get bored. They find a channel they can go troll on, and, you know, and they love it. They love it. I guess they love getting blocked too and deleted. They must if they keep on. That's okay, you all. We don't, I don't care. I really don't. Yeah, so I'm going to go, and it's a lot to think about, you all. When you have the NLM and the NCIB, NIH, or I think it was, talking about the existence, they'll be forced to admit that it is a life form, and anyone who goes against it, they are not going to listen to them. They're not. So, is that shadow in the sky the beginnings of something that's here? Because it's awful dark. It's super, super dark. It's darker than any shadow that I have ever seen of a cloud in the sky, and or it's darker than any of the rays that have came from the sky either. It's much, much darker. It's too dark. So they remind me of the darkness of the filament beings on the sun. And it said when the black cloud, in theoretically speaking, when the black cloud gets near the sun, it takes on a disc shape so that it can feed or something. And we've got something attached to the sun because we've been documenting it since the 25th. Something is attached to the sun, and it ain't moving. It's not. So with that being said, thank you. And hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you, moderators on here, because I know you're a little bit busy, but I know that you got this, that you can do it. You can do it in order to keep this chat going and keep it a safe place for everyone. Apple Brooks and Susan Honey. You're also very welcome, you all. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.